Thanks for joining us on the Inland Empire Answer. Happy Thursday, almost at the weekend, guys. So we appreciate you spending your evening with us. And boy, Proposition 50 still making a lot of news here in the state of California. A special election seems to be on the way, and the No on Proposition 50 effort continues to grow. We're asking all of you to get involved with the No on 50 effort. One of the spokespeople for the No on 50 is Jessica Milan Patterson, former chairwoman for the California GOP, and she joined us on the Morning Answer Thursday. Take a listen.
We did just come out of the field with a poll. And as we talked about the last time I was on your show, there's really three benchmarks that you want to hit when you're working on the no side of a statewide initiative. The first one is to get the yes side under 60%. They started out at about 57%. Mm-hmm. With this poll that we just came out, 2,000-person survey, which is very large, I think it was weighted just perfectly. We actually have them below 50% already. So they're at 48%. It's great news. When you start an initiative, you really want to be at that 65% because you very rarely pick up. You always lose support, and we're seeing that happen right now.
Well, look, we've got to figure out a way to push back against this. I actually think the battle is going to be in the courtroom. I don't have great confidence that we win this at the voting box. Not that we give up, but is there anything left a court battle way to push back on this? Because it's clear to me that I think the legislature broke the Constitution of California by engaging in drawing these maps before they had a right to do so.
Yeah, so we have exhausted everything before the election that we can do within the courts. So now we are going to the ballot box. If we don't win, but I really do have a good feeling about this. You know, we've talked about the statewide propositions a bunch of times on your show. Last cycle in 2024, California voters with California Republican Party's position 89% of the time. There is no D or R that comes after a proposition. And California voters know that every single time we give power to Sacramento, whether it's our children's education, our public safety, the housing crisis, the homeless crisis, you name it, they have failed us. And California voters are really wise to that. Not only that, but when you have Gavin Newsom spending 3 hours on a live stream, 3 hours, which, gosh, man, you'll never get that time back in your life, trying to raise money for this effort, when he is sending out our polls telling the world that they know that they're behind, we know that what we're doing and the track that we are on is right. This is going to be a broad-based coalition. I know we talked about Grant's favorite Republican, Arnold Schwarzenegger, getting involved in the fight on Monday. You know, he was out there with the commissioners from the redistricting commission. This is what California voters voted for. They want to make sure that this power resides with an independent commission and not with politicians, because we have seen what the politicians have done. And when you have a county like Modoc County, which is so remote and very poor, in the same congressional district as Marin County in the Bay Area, something is wrong with the way these lines are being drawn, and Californians see it. They know that this is not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, Jessica, I'll take all the help I can get. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger probably damaged the Republican Party in this state or in a really bad way, but I do think he's a nice guy. Like I think he's just a little bit confused. But in this fight, I'll take anybody who wants to help.
We take everybody.
Yeah, honestly.
We need that. We absolutely need that. When California Democrats are willing to spend $283 million, and those are just the state expenses. We haven't even seen what the price tag is going to be for each one of these counties. $283 million. When Proposition 36, which again was passed by the voters to roll back some of these very soft on crime policies that California Democrats have put into place, and that still hasn't been funded. Think of all of the police officers, the firefighters, everyone who lost their home or watched their town burn down. Think of all of those individual positions that could be placed on the ground. And California Democrats have said, nope, we're going to do this partisan gerrymandering, and it's going to cost the state $283 million.
Yeah.
This is a fight worth fighting for, and it's going to be a broad-based coalition because Republican, Democrat, Independent, you know what Gavin Newsom is doing is wrong.
Okay, so can I, and this is my favorite thing. I want to ask you about this polling that came out, because the thing that concerns me, because I really believe that most people don't want this in California, despite their political party, but there's a 15% chunk in a poll that I saw that would want to vote no on the proposition, but don't understand it. So they would vote yes. And so it's an educational thing as much as anything else, right? To make sure people are voting no on Prop 50. But, they're trying to make this about Trump on the other side, that, Trump is bad. They know he's not popular in our state. They're trying to make it a referendum on him. Is it possible that we could respond, the No on 50 campaign could respond with saying, instead of don't let Trump redistrict California, how about putting a school with a close sign on it? How about putting homeless people sleeping on the street? How about putting maybe a lady being stalked on a metro bus saying, don't let the people who brought you this in California redistrict our state and take away our power? What are the messages moving forward? Because I think we're going to have to fight that Trump referendum and make people understand what their vote really means.
I think you're right on par. We've seen everything that California Democrats have done and the way that they have ruined our state. And that's why so many Democrats and independents have been voting with Republicans when it comes to initiatives. And that is going to be our job. Our job is going to be to educate people. And for some Democrats, they just need permission to vote no on this. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to give them that permission. Whether we're talking about removing the power from the people and giving it to Sacramento politicians, whether we're talking about that this wouldn't be the end.
Yeah.
If they pass this in November, and that's what we have to remember, and that's why this fight is so important. I'm so glad you guys are talking about it so much. If we do not stop this in November, not only will we not have congressional seats to play in for the next 3 cycles, but they will not stop with just the congressional seats.
Of course.
Next time on the ballot, you'll see the legislative seats. The next time on the ballot, you'll see our local seats and our county seats. We need to make sure that we stop them now, because there is never a time when you give government power and they ever relinquish it.
No.
And that's what they're going to do.
Thanks so much, Jessica Milan Patterson. Appreciate all that you're doing. You can give her a follow at Milan Patterson on X.